Spreading basically the education and goodwill around the world is something that every company, I think, should be their mission, to help others. And joining me on the phone is someone who has done just that. Mary Ann Thompson-Frenk joining us on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so glad you woke up early to call in.
Well, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it, Glenn.
Oh, okay. Well, give us an idea. You've started kind of a worldwide crusade, if I can call it a crusade, to basically spread education to parts of the world that in areas, even within our own country, that need it.
Absolutely. What we found is that so many different people are focusing on when people are kind of in the cute phase. But once people are no longer look cute and they don't pose for the pictures as well, then people aren't as interested in the higher level high school and university education. And that's a real shame, because if we really want to help people get off the treadmills that they're caught in economically, sociologically, even environmentally, then we need to try and help them become the leaders that their areas need. And that means investing in people at the high school and university level.
Absolutely. And of course, your concept is called School Out of a Box, the program. Let's talk about that.
Yes, well, it's kind of out-of-the-box thinking, but it's also a play on words, because the idea is that we can ship everything necessary to set this up in an area. And at the same time, we have designed, and I want to give architect Tanya Rodriguez credit for helping us to design this. We've designed it so that there are things locally. So, for example, all the desks will be commissioned to a local carpenter. Stucco that is local to a region, because every place in the world has something local will go in there. There's a mosaic that will always be there that the local artist can do. So at the end result, the idea is that it's scalable, but the building will end up looking like something that the locals recognize and call their own. And by the time it's built, their neighbors and their family members will have helped to make it. So that's a very important part of it, because the money then rotates locally. And already before it even begins, the community has felt an emotional and financial investment in having it in their backyard.
Now go ahead.
Sorry, please. The other important thing is that there are many places, especially in third world circumstances, where people feel guilty because if they leave the core family, they're not out there making money. So that way, the family feels like the whole financial burden of the sacrifice for one person to go off and get an education. This way, education is available in their backyard, and they can do it within their own time by accessing it online through computers, and at the same time still be able to contribute to the family. So they're not caught in that, lose-lose situation.
Okay, you sit on 14 nonprofit organizations. That's pretty impressive. That's really walking the walk and talking the talk when it comes to giving back to the community.
Well, thank you. But I think that what's really important, too, is that, today, to be a humanitarian, you can't just be involved in philanthropy. You also have to be involved in conscious capitalism and social responsible investing. In other words, how you make your money is as important as what you do with it. Okay. And, for what we're doing with School Out of a Box, we're bringing in a lot of for-profits as well as nonprofits. And it's a collaborative process where everyone is doing the part that they do well and pulling it together so we can take things to scale.
All right, Mary Ann Thompson-Frenk is on the phone. We're going to take a quick break, come back, hear a little bit more about her story. Plus, Volunteers of America, Erica English is here as well. We'll talk about how companies in the community get involved to help others as well. It's all about helping people today, Michael. Medically, community, everything.
It comes back to that a lot for us.
It does. And the red cup from Starbucks. Yeah. All right. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Stay with us. And we are back, 7:39, talking to Mary Ann Thompson-Frenk. She is on the phone, and she's with several organizations, but one of the projects she has is called School Out of a Box, which basically brings education to parts of the world. Now, where is the farthest that you've reached this program?
Right now, the primary one is in a place called Felipe Carrillo Puerto. It's located in the Yucatan. And our organization, the Memnosyne Institute, already has a cultural center program there. So we felt that it was going to be the best place to do a prototype in order to try and, find a community that we already trusted and had our roots in. And it has just been remarkable getting to see how the community has reacted to how this can potentially change their lives.
It can change their lives and make a big difference. Think about that for a second. And the small time and money that you guys invest in this and these people's lives, it changes the course of their destiny.
Absolutely. And one of the things I always like to emphasize to people is that some of the most intelligent and innovative people you will ever meet are living in third world circumstances, because it's either they're intelligent about it or else they don't survive. So when you take people like that and you give them an opportunity, they run with it and they put so much into every single chance they've got that it will take your breath away.
Okay. And I'd like to, if I could, share a little bit of your story. You were adopted at a young age from Mexico. At about 5 days old, right?
Yes.
Okay. So was I. We're very similar. I was adopted at about 5 days old as well. And you were adopted by a very influential family here in Dallas, the John Philip Thompson a family, I guess, of 7-Eleven, if I'm not mistaken. That I think you've been blessed in so many ways that you're just taking that blessing and you're spreading that throughout the world and giving other kids and families opportunities. That's where I think the full circle here comes. And you're just a wonderful person to do this.
Well, thank you. You know, I was blessed to be adopted because I was born on Mother's Day at 7:11 a.m. in 1977, and that's why they said that they were going to make an exception and let me go with that family, because originally they didn't do adoptions. And when you realize that every blessing from the man that I eventually married to my education to all the opportunities to, you know, being able to have health care when I needed it was not because of anything I've ever earned, but just one little moment, twist of fate, it makes you feel incredibly responsible and a steward of what's been given. And it's also given me the blessing of being very keenly aware. My family didn't hide poverty from me. They allowed me to see it, which I think was a great privilege, because I was able to look at those people as I went through the markets and was able to put myself in that mindset and say, if I was there, which was so easy to have happened, what would I be thinking when I would see a privileged tourist walk by? I would be thinking, if I had what they had, I would do this or I would do that, and try and operate my life from mindset as well.
All right. I'm so glad that you woke up early to join us. If someone wants to get involved in numerous of things that you're involved with, the School of the Box, Out of the Box, how do they do that?
Well, you can the best thing to do is go to our Facebook page, the Memnosyne Institute. A lot of our programs are there. When we do things local, national, and international. So depending on what people's interest is and what area, we also have all sorts of projects that range from the environment to human rights to hunger. So there's something there for everybody, because we believe that all these different issues are interconnected. And it's only when you strategize by seeing how those interconnections are that you come up with a sustainable solution. But that's made possible by all the people in local areas that want to be involved, participating. And we have chapters in Kyoto, we have chapters in Israel, Palestine. You know, we have places all over the world, including cultural centers not only in the Yucatan but in Teotihuacan, Mexico. So there's a lot of different opportunities to get involved. I
love it. Thank you so much, Mary Ann Thompson-Frenk, joining us on the line. And you go out there and have a great day. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Wow. Did you realize they reached that many people?
No, I didn't. I knew there was a global initiative and everything, but how global, that was surprising. And just in case anyone's wondering, their Facebook page is the Memnosyne Institute, and Memnosyne is spelled Memnosyne. Yeah, and you'll post all that stuff up on our page. It's already there. Yeah, okay, cool. It's already there. Go to our Twitter, which is Yep. Did you do very well in school, Michael? Yes, I did. You did? Better than my career path would display. Yes. Yeah, that's why I went straight to television. I brought the IQ level there down a little bit. I see. But school is important. We all know that. I've got 3 kids, and every one of them, they don't like to go to school because they all say what they're learning. So why do I have to learn how to measure a triangle, or this and that, and why do I have to worry about the plants and things? And I go, well, it's all about problem solving and critical thinking. And we're kind of preparing you for the future. You're developing your mind. You're developing your mind. Okay, you can't. I tell them don't turn out like your dad. Okay. But anyway, our next guest is founded all kinds of stuff. She's on 14 nonprofit organizations and really around the world, and is spreading education and giving opportunities to people who traditionally have not had the opportunity to get an education. One of her projects is called School Out of a Box. Joining us now on the phone is Mary Ann Thompson-Frenk. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for calling in on the show today. Now, it would take me, we were talking about you earlier, it would take me a half hour to go through all the stuff that you've literally been involved. I'm serious, that you've been involved with. We were just talking about how accomplished you are. But I think what you're doing to spread education across the world globally and really give people opportunities to better their lives is amazing. But tell us about School Out of the Box.
Thank you so much. School Out of the Box is the idea of trying to make higher level education scalable. We've been blessed to get to work with people with the United Nations and other organizations. And one of the statistics that stuck in my head over time is something that we heard from the Rockefeller Institute, which said that if you took all the money that all the countries in the world had and all the nonprofits in the world had and you put it in one pile and you compared it with privately owned money, it wouldn't even come close. And then if you looked at the amount of money it would take to deal with all sorts of issues around the world, whatever they might be, everything that's facing us as humanity, the challenges, it would be minuscule. So just by default, in order to make any solution scalable, we are going to have private funds, for-profit funds be part of the solution. So School Out of the Box has been about creating collaborations between multiple nonprofits and for-profits to make it possible for us to take a model that would go into any third world country as well as many different areas here in the United States that would set up a small building that would basically have 24 places for students to be able to access higher level education, high school and university level online. Because now with the technology we have today, there's no reason anyone can't have access.
Yeah, we just saw the other day how Facebook was giving some of their money into areas of the world that didn't have internet access, and they were trying to get where people can now be connected with the world, which, you know, their dog in the hunt is to, of course, get more users on Facebook, which increases their marketability as far as ad revenue and things like that. But it also goes, and, you know, because without the internet, you know, you can't go onto YouTube and search, how do I grow a crop? You know, because a lot of people need the internet for educational purposes.
Absolutely. And it's a big equalizer. I heard someone say that if you don't have access to internet, it's like being illiterate. You know, it's how you have a voice. It's the level playing field. And, you know, thanks to a wonderful gentleman named Rabbi Abraham Berkowitz, we're actually hoping that we'll get to collaborate with Facebook. So, you know, it's those win-wins that will allow us to make this kind of, education accessible to people.
Okay. We've been talking about on this show for since day one, how companies should get involved in the community and give back. It should be more than just making money and making a profit. Sure, yes, revenue is the new black. You need to have revenue and a profit, but you need to give back and make a difference in the world. And that's pretty much what you're all about.
Absolutely. And, you know, and what I like to use to illustrate this to people, like when I was just at the Cavendish Forum, when I was a young child, my father, he was the CEO of a major corporation, and I was a very nosy kid, and he brought home what I would call his homework, and there were stacks of papers, and one paper had all the names of these countries in the world, and it had things going from about 15 cents up to $25. And I asked him what it was about, and he said, where the shareholders asked me to find something that would manufacture something for $7.50 a day, and so I'm going to go to the country asking for that. And, you know, I said, okay, well, you know, being a little kid, I said, well, why don't you go to the country asking for just 15 cents a day, give them the $7.50 that your shareholders have already approved and change everyone's life. And I'll never forget, my father got on his knees and he looked me in the eyes and he said, thank you for reminding me what my real job on this earth is. And I forgot all about that. But when I was in high school, he came back to me and said, remember that? I was able to do everything necessary that the shareholders held me accountable for, and it changed people's lives. And it wasn't charity because people earned every single cent of that, and they built hospitals, they built schools, they changed everything in their community. So I like to use that example because a lot of times people that are in power positions, they think that their philanthropy is one thing, and they think being a humanitarian only deals with that. No, being a humanitarian means being consciously aware when you have an opportunity to make a decision like that could have a profound impact.
Mary Ann Thompson-Frenk joining us on the line, talking about giving back and her multiple organizations. One of them is called School Out of a Box program that brings global education formats around the globe. It helps access to education. Now, you know, you've got an interesting story. You were adopted at a very young age into the family that's behind 7-Eleven, and that is such a blessing. I was told when I found out as a kid that I was adopted, I was told that I'm special, and I didn't really I didn't understand that at the time, and I was just probably like 4 or 5 or 6, I guess. I didn't understand that. But now as I get older, I do realize I am special because I was given, I think, in a way, not to get too deep on you, but whenever you're adopted, there's always an option there. I could have been aborted because my mother was single. She was 16 years old. She was actually in college. Or she could have went to an agency, went through the medical care and gave birth, and I was adopted. So I think by what you're doing, you are full circle giving back to society, to people by what you're doing. Because I think people that are adopted are very special, and you came from Mexico, a very poverty-stricken area, and you're able to kind of give back to those areas.
Absolutely. And
I hope I didn't get too deep on you.
Not at all. It's important to really remember that people who are in impoverished situations are extraordinarily intelligent, resilient, and innovative, and they have to be in order to survive. So it's important for us who are in a privileged position is to give them those opportunities, because then what they're going to do with it will just blow your mind.
It will blow your mind.
You don't have to go into third world countries to find those situations either. I mean, there are many different places here in Dallas as well where people are struggling all the time.
They're struggling. We talked about that in the break, how just in our own backyard, there's people that need help. Okay, if somebody wants to donate their time, their financial, if there's a company listening right now that wants to get involved, how would they do that?
Absolutely. Our organization is called the Memnosyne Institute. School Out of a Box is just one of the things. Look us up on Facebook. That's the best way to do it. And again, that's Memnosyne Institute, or you can look my name up, Mary Ann Thompson-Frenk. I'm also on Facebook, and you'll find all the different links there. You can also Google School Out of a Box, and there's a video that'll tell you all about it. We're constantly looking for more collaborators that are willing to put what they do uniquely as part of the solution. And in the local area, if you're really, because we do things local, national, international. In the local area, we have Food Source DFW, which is helping, different areas to try and streamline food waste so that we don't end up having as much food waste. We have Green Source DFW if you're interested in the environment locally. So we have things that are national, international, and local.
Okay,
and we'd love for people to be involved.
And we'll put all this information on our Facebook and Twitter as well. Or if Michael's probably already done that. So, all right, thank you so much for joining us. Go out there and get you a cup of coffee from Starbucks and a red cup. And
I just have to say one thing. I find this whole thing very funny because they have Yemanjah, or Yuba goddess, on the cover of each cup. And, so if you were going to be offended by something, it's already interfaced by that.
Bingo. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that as well. I bought the cup today that says Joy on it. So I specifically paid $2 for the recyclable cup. So I'm trying to bring joy. But anyway, that's a good point. And thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day now. All right, there you go. That's good. Hey, she nailed it right there.
That was funny.